Are we live yet? Let's see. Are we live yet? Okay, I'm going to turn this off so you guys don't hear me talking to myself. All right. Hi, I'm Jessie Scott, also Chevy Scott on Instagram and on YouTube. And I apologize, you might hear some cats running around. They are not used to me being in the craft room during the day. And Justine Hovey, she is with us in the background. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat. It is helpful if you have questions to put like question in all caps before the question. That helps us kind of see it. It's real tiny on my screen when I'm looking. So hi everybody. Wow, there's folks from Dallas and wow, so many folks on here. Linda and Judy. So happy to have you guys join us. So a little bit about me. I'm in the California desert and it's actually kind of warm. I feel bad for everybody actually freezing right now. There's a lot of folks with they're snowed in on the East Coast right now, I hear, and up in Canada too. So I feel like I'm more in Australia where it's kind of hot right now. So if you're out there cold, hopefully you can warm up by doing some heat embossing or something in your craft room or really cranking out a die cut machine. It's a good way to warm up. So today I'm gonna do some live crafting. This is my first live I've ever done, so I'm sorry if it goes a little wonky, but at the very least, we'll do a little bit of giggling along the way. So let's switch down. I've got some stuff here. Extra light here. So what I was going to use, I don't know if you guys have already seen some of the previews for Saturday's class. I'm doing a interactive card class, and I was going to use these little bees because they're so much fun. And since I already had them out, I had some images stamped, so I'm going to start using those. And on Saturday, this is what I made with it. And so it's a really simple card that you can step up and make it wobble. You can, let's see, also make it spin and then even light up. So that's the class on Saturday. Hope you can join us if you haven't joined. The free ticket is available for those that haven't signed up, so make sure you grab it. And then this is actually a shape card that I made specifically for this event. And so this SVG that cuts this out is available as part of the all access pass, the paid ticket. And also this extra class, it comes with this little version that I used for this. And you can also have a slider, and it comes with a SVG for that track too, just in case you don't have a die already that does this. So these are super fun. So hopefully you want to upgrade your ticket so you have access to that. If not, the free ticket will be just fine, and you'll get to learn how to do a bunch of interactive stuff. So what I want to do today, I cheated, I'll admit it, and I made a sample because I'm an engineer, so I have to have things kind of exact. But this is what I'm going to try to show you guys how to make today. So it's a spinner, has some easy interactive element, and the only thing that you're going to need that you might not have is this 100% nylon that I have. And this is a nylon thread. And this is the only thing that's special about it is that this is nice to try to keep it from uh, breaking later on if you twist it too much, because I'm one of those people that plays with the card a little too much after I make an interactive. And I found the nylon thread won't break as much as some of the other threads. And then it's also more invisible. So if you can tell, you can't really see it. It kind of looks like it's floating. So that's why this is pretty good. Um, I'll throw a link later in the chat for some for like I just found this on Amazon. I just have that in my craft space. And so let's get started here. And is there any questions? Just trying to look in the chat. So will your freebie also have a PDF? I'm not sure I understand the question that you don't have an electronic cutting machine. So the shape part, I mean, you have to be able to cut it out. So I guess you're maybe asking if there's a PDF so that you could print it out and like hand cut. I can look into making that actually. I should be able to do that. The SVG, I should be able to export into a PDF. And I think there's a question also about the Behold stamp set. This is from Unity Stamps. If you haven't seen them, they are super fun. That's where the dies I'm going to use and the paper are from today from my stash. Like, look at this. It's so much fun. I am really bad about using pattern paper, so I tried to grab this out because this is really fun paper to use at all times. And the embroidery thread used, yeah, you can use embroidery thread. Yeah, you can definitely use that instead of this. So any thread will work. All you're going to be doing is spinning it, and it's just going to want to unspin. So that should work. And let me pull up my instructions for myself because I'm really bad about this. So let's see. Has anybody made a spinner card before? Has anybody seen these? That's what I wanted to ask for a quick question, just to see how many newbies we've got going on out there. They're really simple. All it is we're going to cut a window through, and then we just use the thread to suspend it in between the window, and then it's super easy. So hopefully we can get this done within an hour is my personal goal. And I also want to say that this qualifies. I don't know if you guys pay attention to Simon Says Stamp. They're an online store, but it's really cool because they have these challenges on their blog, and their challenge for this week was hearts. And so this was why I actually picked the hearts. So it would work with that challenge, and you can post on there. It's a great place to they have a gift card, a $25 gift card that they give away, I think, every week. And you can also get some awesome inspiration from their website. So that's pretty cool. And then also, if you haven't been on Craft Roulette actually had some parameters for a interactive card this week, and so my card actually qualifies for that as well. And they're a really fun live group that if you'd like to watch more kind of live stuff and get engaged with some card makers, that's a good group to be a part of as well. Um, let me just make sure. Awesome. I like seeing that a lot of people have never made one of these before. That's great. And some folks have seen Jennifer McGuire's. That she is super awesome. I love watching her videos. She makes some of my favorite cards, especially interactive. She makes it really easy as well. Right. And what I wanted to do is pose a challenge also. I saw some folks already in the group that have tried to make some of the cards in the class, other classes, not mine, that they've already done, and they made it interactive. So there's a few of the classes that I was looking at in the Stash Summit that their card samples could be made interactive. So you could maybe step up some of those cards this weekend. So that's my challenge, is if you guys can post those and say that you kind of stepped it up to be interactive, make sure you tag me in the Facebook group. All right. So let's see. So we're going to start with an A2 card base. I haven't decided what I'm going to use for this one. I chose a yellow background because it went with that paper, but I wasn't sure on the new one. Do we want to use the same paper again, or do we want to try something else fun? There's some really cute papers in here. Anybody have any suggestions? I'm kind of not sure which one I should do. Let me see if I can see any suggestions in the chat. Because I was kind of leaning towards because I want to make this a birthday card. I always need birthday cards. So I was thinking maybe these ice cream cones would be a lot of fun. I see somebody like the first rainbow one. Which one? This one, right? This is super fun too. All right, let's do that one. Okay, so we will get that out of the way. This is just such a fun paper pack. So we're gonna trim this down. Actually, no, we don't need to trim it because I'm gonna cut it out with this because I love, this is a Deckle and Stitches nesting die, and I put this magnet in there. It doesn't come with that, but I strongly advise you buy your own magnetic sheets. There's a ton of different places out there, and you can just stick them on your packaging, and it's a lot easier for some of our stuff to hold together. So as you can see, that's what I did with my hearts too. That's my own cutout that I stuck on the back. All right, so let me run this through. What die cut machine does everybody have? I have a Platinum 6. It cuts like butter. But I know a lot of people have different ones out there. I've been thinking about getting an electronic one actually lately. As I get a little older, sometimes I don't want all the elbow grease in all my cards. Okay, so now we have this, and let's see. I think this yellow might be pretty still. So we've got this. Lots of Sizzix Big Shots. Oh, a Gemini Junior. That's a good one too. Empress. And the original Cuttlebug, you know, that's a good one too. Very dependable. I actually got into crafting when the Sizzix was big, the Big Shot. So my first one was a Big Shot. All right. So now what you want to do is, because I want to use this paper to sandwich in between that thread so you don't see it, I am going to temporary tape this down, and I just use, this is the Delicate Surface Scotch tape. And I find as long as I put it on that inner wrist, get a little of me on it, then it doesn't stick to my paper so terribly and tear it when you run it through. So I'm just gonna get it stuck there. And then actually, maybe less on the designer pretty paper is better. Okay, and then I'm going to take, what I want to do is, if you have a nested image, the best thing for spinners is that we're going to create this window with one size, and then we're going to have something else spinning on the inside. So as long as there's enough clearance, which there is on this one, the thread will basically be right in between those holes. So as long as this works for my little guy, and I'm going to have a mirrored image that we sandwich together. So this will be on the front, this one will be on the back, and then this is going to be our window, the larger one. I think I want to have it kind of like that. Does that look centered? It's not centered. It's not even level on your screen. So how would you be able to help me? I'm trying to look up and see. Awesome. And I see that I've got some of my friends from Discord on here cheering me on. I'm in a card swap group, and we get on Discord and chat about fun, crafty things. And they are really supportive of me being on here today. Okay, so then what you want to do is you want to only run through one side. So we're cutting it through the card front. So I'm going to run this through the die cut machine. And then we will have that window. Sorry, that one has extra paper in it, so it was extra explosive coming out the back of the Platinum 6 here. All right, now we get to find out if everything did okay. So we do have a fun piece of scrap that we could use later for that fun heart. And it did cut all the way through. And then just need to, even when I do this, I just want to always pull very delicately, like pull it from the best angle there. And you won't take off any awesomeness off of yours. See, I'm getting a little bit of color, but we're okay because that's a crazy fun paper. Okay, so temporary tape off. Now we are almost ready here. And then now I just need to cut these out so that we have our fun spinner in the middle. Question, can you show us your cutting? Oh, how am I cutting the hearts? I am using this bad boy right here. So let me get these. And these are my original plates. I love them forever. I'm one of those people. So especially when I'm trying to cut these out with this pristine white paper, I'm going to just grab a piece of some scrap paper. I'm just ripping some scrap paper, just some printer paper. And as long as you kind of protect that there, then all the wonderful love on your plate doesn't end up being on the actual image. So let's see. Does everybody's cutter have tape all over it too, like mine? Like I always have tape that I'm usually trying to use again, always. Oh, he's so cute. And then we'll have this image for the back. I'm really sad that some of the companies haven't capitalized on the spinner concept. There was this super cute set that it's still one of my favorites. It's from Tailored Expressions, and I can just reuse this paper again. And they had a bunny on the front and the back, and it was a symmetrical image, and so you could use it for a spinner. And it was just so adorable because it had like a sentiment that was, I love puns and funny things. And so it said like, does my tail make my butt look big or something like that? It was super cute because, you know, bunny tails are super cute and puffy. It was a really cute Easter card one year that I made. I was really proud of that one. All right, so done with my Platinum 6. I'll put these back. So now we have these images, and I'm just going to quickly color the bee real simply. I prefer using Olo's. It's an alcohol ink marker that just came out in the last few years. I started with Copics, and unfortunately in the desert, if there's any crack in the cap, it's donezo, and I just couldn't catch them in time, and I was just replacing lots of markers over and over. So unfortunately for me, I had to get rid of all of my Copics, but luckily for me, Olo came out, and they're free flowing and they work just like Copics, but they don't dry out, and they're always ready to go for me. So I'm just using some yellows, get a little pink tongue because this guy's super silly. This is my favorite little bee of this set because he's so silly. He's the one that I made spin and wiggle on the other set. And then maybe we'll put a little bit of little blue on the wing. Maybe give him a little depth on the eyes a little bit. And what I like about alcohol markers is that if you make it a little too dark for yourself, you can always take the zero color and kind of lighten it up a little bit, because I'm heavy-handed when I do ink blending, when I do coloring, and Yeah, I use the 0 a good bit. When you're ink blending, you can also use the Distress white ink and go over it. That will also help you if you ever need to lighten up some ink blending, because I've done that too. Okay, and then you know what? Let's add some glitter, because if he's going to be spinning, I just have this. It's a Jelly Roll glitter pen. I got it from Amazon. Let's see. Question: are there any alcohol markers that do not bleed through? So it depends on your paper, right? So this isn't bleeding through. It's definitely soaking into the paper. This is my Hammer Mill. It's the one that Jennifer McGuire. Let me see if I can pull the package up here. It's the one with, it's probably loud, but it's Hammer Mill Premium Color Copy Cover, and it's the 100 pound, and everybody knows it by the chameleon. That's how you know you got the right one. And this does really well. I use it for all my ink blending. I use it for Copic coloring. I basically use it for everything. I print out custom sentiments on my printer as well. So it goes through the printer. And yeah, I even use it to watercolor, as long as you don't use a ton of water. And then I just run it through a laminator afterwards to straighten it back out a little bit. So I'm just going to put some little glitz on here. And, you know, I love glitter. You can never have enough glitter. And if we had time for stuff to dry, we would totally add maybe a bunch of real glitzy glitter. But the glitter pen gives me a little bit to scratch the itch right now. All right. Yeah. Sounds like a lot of people know about this stuff. Yeah. And Irene, yeah, using the Olo paper to print on. If it goes through your printer, use it, because then you can ink blend on it. Like, that's what I wasn't sure of, is if we wanted to kind of ink blend the edges here, if we want that pop of white with the yellow. So it's probably good. We probably don't need to ink blend with it. Okay, I don't need this anymore. Let me double check what we're trying to do here. Make sure I don't mess this up live in front of everybody. Let's see. All right. So now it's time. So what you're going to want to do is you need to cut enough. So this is going to be the big clincher for you, is not having enough thread. So if you are in doubt, always just cut way more than you need. I estimate 6 inches longer than you need has been good for me. So if you just measure this, I'll just grab this one. And so basically this hole here is 2 inches. So if we add, what I say, 6 inches to 2, public math, that means 8 inches. So we want at least 8 inches, because what you want to do is be able to wrap this around the tape, so that, the problem with this is I keep losing it. There we go. Let's end up with a little extra, and that's fine too. But you want to be able to wrap it around the tape so it doesn't pull out. So I just use regular Scotch tape, like the stuff I use to gift wrap. Goodness gracious. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is take a piece of tape. That's helpful to have the tape already kind of done. Let's have 2 pieces. And now I lost my end. Oh, goodness. Okay. So it's wonderful to have the stuff that's a little see-through, but also, oh my goodness, a little hard. Okay. So the first, as I pull it out of my hand again, anybody want to count how many times I have to re-grab the thread? Okay. So what I do is I stick, because we're going to want this to be definitely all on that edge, I'm going to overlap it a little bit, and I'll trim off the tape. So don't worry. And then what you want to do before you fully stick it down, you want to wrap it. I don't know if you can hear my cat, but he's over there having a blast with a box on my floor right now. Okay, so wrap it around, and then we're going to stick it down. And you want it coming out that tip, okay? And then I use my nails to kind of solidify it. I'm going to put that tape right there. So before you go any further, it's kind of easy to just, because you don't want to trim this later and accidentally totally trim off the thread. So I'm going to get the thread out of the way, kind of tuck it out the back here. Because if you try to trim this later, you're just going to end up messing up a little bit and trimming it off the whole thing. We don't want that. And then make sure you are not trimming the thread. Okay. It looks like I've got my little extra piece hanging out, so I'm going to pull that taut. I don't know how he got dangling. I swear I tried this earlier and I didn't have these problems. So let me pull that taut again. There we go. Get that off over there. Okay. So since that's wrapped around, then when you pull it a little bit, it's not going to just pull right out from underneath the tape. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the bottom. Now that I showed you how not easy that is. Bottom's a little easier because you're not going to have to trim it, but we want that tape as close to the edge as possible. And then we're going to make sure that holds down there. And then we're going to wrap this around and back underneath the tape. Okay, so now, I don't know if y'all can see that. So you've got it kind of wrapped around and we got a piece sticking out the top. And if you think that's going to stick out of the paper that we're going to put on top, then you can just trim that off. You're fine as long as you don't get it unstuck from the tape. So you can trim all the way up to the tape if you want. And there we go. Now we can cover it right up with this. So I'm just going to grab, I've got a kitty down by my feet asking for love. So you might hear her crying too. They really are not used to me being in the craft room today. They're usually asleep in the window. All right, so I like to use the Barely Arts glue. This is their precision craft glue. I think this is the mini size. I got this one because, oh no, the desert strikes again, even though I had the needle in there. We just gotta squeeze it extra hard or stick it back in there one more time. But I got this size because they had this super cute cactus. And so this is my little holder. And so it keeps it ready to go the whole time I'm crafting. Kind of like that, the precision glue gun or whatever has where you sit it in that stand and it has a little piece of foam in there. It's the same concept, only it's just for regular glue that you squeeze yourself. All right. So just make sure you get that glue right around the window because you want it to not lift up. And then we're just gonna make sure and this stuff dries super fast, so just want to hold it down where that tape is so it stays stuck. Okay, how are we doing on time? Okay. I saw there's a question for what weight fishing line. This is actually just 100% nylon thread from Singer. So it doesn't have like a weight or anything like that. It's just a nylon thread. But you could totally use fishing line. The only thing is that it's a little thick, and it'll, I feel like I think I might have tried that in my early days, and it actually broke. It breaks when you twist and then pull. So that's the only thing you got to be worried about. Okay, so the image on the back is, we don't want to glue yet, Jessica. Not yet, not yet. We need one more piece of tape. And so we're going to need one image. And it doesn't really matter which one is which because it'll be spinning, but technically this one is the one that I want to be in the back. And so I'm just going to center that up in the window, and then we're going to tape it. Tape it to the thread. Make sure you get that good connection. And then we're just going to sandwich it with these, and then we're just going to glue it. And then we're basically done. Anything else after this point is just extra fluff that makes the card extra special. But we are essentially done. It's super easy, awesome, interactive that takes not that long, especially when you have some nice nested dies that look super cute. So I'll have to post in our group that my card with the parameters for the craft roulette and how it does it. So if we were done, what we would do is get it ready for the package, because you don't want to just send this in the mail or hand it to somebody and then they just open it and they're like, oh, look, it just kind of floats around. So I spin it like 20 times and I haven't been counting. So if anybody's been counting, am I at 20 yet? That's probably close. Okay. So then you put it in the envelope and then they pull it out of the envelope and voila, tons of spinning action. So the more spin, the more it'll spin later. So work now, work later. The only thing is, every time you spin it, if you open it, you have to spin it again. So this one, unfortunately, is not that easy to play with because you have to keep spinning it again if you open it up again. So what I did for my other one, I thought it would be cute to kind of make another little frame. And so I went with the next size up. So this is the window. And then I went another size up. And I thought it might be fun to add some glitter paper. And this is the Altenew cat hairs, halftone hearts nesting dies. And that's what I had in my stash to go with a heart theme. And so when you cut out those layered on top of each other, you get this. And so that's super cute to just put. I think that adds a little extra pizzazz. And then I thought if I had two, and it also cuts out this, don't forget. So this is something that then you're going to have in your stash that you can put anywhere. I think I actually used it to decorate the photos I was taking. So let's just add this. And then the only thing missing would be any extra embellishments on the front or the sentiment on the inside. That's going to be the only tricky thing that you might have some trouble with your current stash. And you might need, like for me, I had to alter mine, which I'll tell you right now, I am a fan of cutting stamps when you have to. I know some people are like, oh no, that's so scary. But you know what? Especially if you have a MISTI or like a block, you can always just push it back together on the block the way it goes. I'd rather be able to use my stash the way I need it. So if the sentiment doesn't fit, you can always cut it and line it up. So I have been known to cut many stamps. Oh, we got someone from Portland, Oregon. So I thought this kind of finished off the inside because you're encouraging them to kind of look at it and watch it spin. And I thought this kind of had a little something on the inside too. Okay, and then so we've got cute little bee, and he spins with this happy bee day. And then I like to be funny with my sentiments, and I love these stamp sets. Oh, yep. Pear Blossom Press is in the house, and they're saying they practice unlicensed stamp surgery. I love that. Oh, you know what? It's already in here because I was doing it earlier. But there's this nice let's be weird together forever. I thought that was a really fun thing to send a friend. Happy birthday, let's be weird together forever. Be weird. So how I like to do this. Let's get this out here. So I've got my Misty. Because what you're going to want to do is see how you can see the background through. So you don't just want a stamp on the inside. And then when you close it, you're like, oh no, now I have these weird looking images or words sticking out, and it kind of takes away from the front of your card. So you want to make sure you can hide it. So what we're going to do is, I love my Misty. It's great for all the things. The rainbow paper, Sherry. Let's see. It is also from Unity Stamp Company. It is called Rainbow Vibes, and it is a big stack of paper, totally worth the money. So tons of these. Tons of awesome designs there. Whoops. Lost my heart over there. Okay, so this was the long sentiment. And when I went to go and line this up in the card, it extended past and it was going to show up in the edges there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to temporary tape down this card in here because rubber stamps are super awesome. They're super detailed and clear, but unfortunately, when you are trying to do the stamp surgery, as Amanda called it, then you can't really see where you're stamping, right? You can't see through it. So what's great is to have some acetate on hand, and I like to use, this is the grid transparency from Simon Says Stamp. You can, if you don't need the lines, or you could actually print out a grid on transparency with a laser printer, or just use regular plastic if you don't need the lines. I like to use the lines. They're usually pretty useful for me. And where did I always lose my magnet because I somehow get it stuck to the table leg, believe it or not. So I'm just going to put this down in the bottom right-hand corner. So in case it moves, I'll be able to adjust that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to arrange this over that white heart so that we know when I open up the card, it'll be underneath that. And I'm going to, let's see, this is the Let's Be Weird. So we're just going to line it up. And this one actually is pretty straight. So we might do this on the first try. As long as I'm lining up the edge of the rubber. And this is, you got to make sure you're stamping it down the right way, right? Backwards, upside down, together forever. Okay. So then we just kind of center this. Looks pretty good. Might be good. All right. So then we shut it. And then I'm just going to use, where did I put it? I had some less super awesome ink. Let me go grab it. So my Memento never stays juicy enough for me to use for stamping. So I like to use the VersaFine. So that's what I'm going to use for a permanent image. And then when I'm coloring with the Copic markers, this is my new favorite. It works with stamping, blending, watercolor. Really, really nice. But it also kind of acts like a pigment. It's not, it's dye, but like I don't want it to kind of get all over the place. So I'm just going to use some Memento just to get like a little kind of watermark and just make sure it's lined up and easy to wipe off because my Memento wipes away super easy. Looks pretty straight to me. Probably hard for you guys to see it, but I think it's lined up pretty straight. So now we can remove this, but if it wasn't straight, the intent of this was that then you could have taken this and moved it and shifted it to where you want it to be, where it looks straight, and then retape that down. Then you know the stamp is going to go exactly where you want. as I get this stuck way too down. Okay. Back on the table leg it goes. Okay. Then don't forget to open it. And then just in case I got any ink on the edge there, I'm just going to use a piece of paper to just kind of protect it, just in case. Don't want to accidentally stamp up my bee. And let me just get that stuck here. I'm sure that's making a ton of noise. And then we're going to use my really nice, crisp, VersaFine clear. And because I have cats, I'm just going to make sure I don't have any fuzzies. Doesn't look like it. Okay. And voila. I think we are good to go. Carefully peel this tape off. All right. And then now it's hidden perfectly behind. All right. So we can spin it up again. I was thinking, like usually I like to put some embellishments on my card. I usually get some little jewels out. What does everybody like to use to embellish their cards with? Anybody have a good favorite, a go-to? Yeah, that's another option too, Rosemary. You can definitely mask off parts of the stamp. Yeah, if you don't want to cut it. Oops, I wasn't looking and I stopped it there. But so I like to grab, I have all these little gold things. I didn't think it really went with this. I was thinking of adding black, but then when I was chatting with some crafty people, actually the Pear Blossom Press group, they have a crafternoon on Sundays that I like to join in on once in a while. And they suggested that I just do some little, let me see if I can grab some. I want to do like, yeah, especially because it's kind of bold paper. I'm going to use a thicker pen. We thought it would be really cute to just kind of make it look like the bees kind of buzzing around. Never be afraid to add extra things to your papers. So just imagine this bee is just having a fun time going all over my card. So I thought that added a little extra, made it look more like a bee card. Thank you, Trisha. Beautiful. Cute. Extra points for bee puns today. Hi, Linda. I see some folks from the Crafternoon party on here too. And another Linda too saying that they love the doodling. Thanks. It makes it just adds a little something. I have a friend that does the little dashes all around and just they're totally not straight and not the same length. And it just adds a little something, looks a little more handmade. To put those, make some handmade borders. Don't be afraid to do that. So is the Sunday afternoon craft session on YouTube. It's actually through Zoom. There's a Zoom link that's on their website. So if you go to pearblossompress.com, they have a, I believe the link is at the top with the crafternoon. And yeah, you just click on it and join in on Zoom. So let's try one more time. Oh, spin, spin. Let's be weird together. So yeah, so anybody that missed it at the beginning, this was the other one that I made. So that's how I proved. And like, because I had the white, I actually did this one in pen, but I think I might actually go back over it and do it with a thicker. I like the thicker because then you can see a lot more. And these are the cards once again. So this is how we can make things more interactive on a card. And make sure too, if you sign up for the newsletter with Pear Blossom Press, there's more ideas than just this one that I shared today. There's a whole guide of all the different types of interactive things that you can do. So make sure to get your free ticket and at least get the freebie for doing that newsletter sign up. And Pear Blossom Press has so much fun stuff. And we're going to have fun with this. I'm on Saturday, second day, If you already have VIP access, you can access this class today. And the paid ticket holders can go ahead and get started and start learning how to make all these fun interactive parts of this card. And you don't have to put it all in one card. I'm just crazy, and I decided to, put all 3 things on one card because I could fit it in there. And then if you upgrade to a paid ticket, then you get access to a whole bunch of stuff. There's some really cute, if you watched yesterday's live, she's going to have her whole, all the printables for her class is all on there as well. And then mine, you get this SVG cut file to make a beehive shape card. And you also get the little one that you can use to make this one. And then this is a bonus card that you get the instructions, and there's a whole video for that one too. And oh, I forgot too. There is a discount code for Pear Blossom Press this weekend too. So I will throw that in the chat after. I forgot. This is a great place to tell you about it. Extra perk for coming to the live. You can start using it early before the weekend, maybe. I think. Actually, maybe I'm lying. Maybe it can't be used until this weekend now that I opened my mouth. I'll double check that, and then we'll have the link in the Facebook group this weekend for sure. And if it's active to be able to be used now, I'll put it in the YouTube live as well. And how do you deliver? Okay, Amanda says it does work now. Okay, so I'll get that put in the chat because she gave me a discount code for you guys for this weekend. And I have it written down somewhere. I was thinking I could just easily find it, but I don't. But I will get that in the chat. So be sure to look for that. And then I saw somebody say, how do you deliver such a card as that? So I mail almost all my cards. I have, oh, where did it go? I just bought some. But I buy this foam. This is just packing foam for plates. So I just bought this on Amazon, a pack of like 200 because I'm crazy. And then I just trim it down to be slightly smaller than a card. And so you don't really need it on this one, but when I put baubles on, for sure, I'll put the foam on there, and then it doesn't, it goes right through the machines, and it doesn't, poke through the envelopes. But I also use it for going around these as well, because so the wobbler is super awesome. It compresses way down, all the way down. And then the lights, they're popped up. They do not exceed the 1/4 inch limit in the United States. I don't know about other companies, but I just ship them just like this. So this kind of helps take that stress off of that wobbler, because you do have some hard plastic in there. So the your stamped image might bend a little bit if you don't cushion it a little bit. So I like to add a little cushion. These are hard as well for those little candle add-on for the flames. And then the spinner too, it's a harder plastic, but yeah, I just put some foam over it, and then it just rolls right through. So if you want to protect it though, definitely, I do have some folks that have used those cardboard mailers as well. And it's not that much more expensive if you take it into the post office and just tell them you want to have a card that doesn't get bent. And I think it was just like a couple dollars, and instead of like a full package, right, of like $4.50 or something. What's the name of the stamp set? This is Behold, and this is by Unity. And I will put a link as well to this in the chat. I believe I think they just finished a sale, but I was told they might be having a sale this weekend, and it might have the stamp set on it. So something to look out for. Super cute set. And they're pretty large images. So there's this other one that is a little guy sitting up there. This is our little silly bee. So he's that big. And there's another one that just sits there. And so yeah, so they're a little bit bigger than their image there. And Thanks a Bazillion is the other one I didn't use. So if you need a good thank you card, that one's a good one. Wow, Karen, yours went to $8 when you used a rigid cardboard envelope. Wow. Yeah, sometimes it just depends on your local post office sometimes too on how picky they are on some things. I've been really lucky, knock on wood somewhere, that my local post office kind of lets me get away with one stamp a lot of times on some of the stuff that I probably shouldn't. All right. Yeah, I've never let the post office know about a battery, Leslie. Like I just mail it as a regular card with a stamp. And maybe that's just me not knowing what I'm legally maybe supposed to do according to the post office. I haven't seen where the little watch batteries I have to do that. Um, but yeah, I just send it as a regular card with one stamp in the mail. Yeah, Karen, going to the counter, sometimes you're asking for it, right? Like I've gone in and asked too, and they're like, "Oh, I feel lumps in there," and I'm like, "Really?" But if I just put it in my mailbox, then they just run it through the machine just fine. What is my favorite brand? Wow, Tracy, putting me on the spot. I mean, so everybody knows Lawn Fawn. Everybody loves Lawn Fawn because they match so much, right? And Unity has a really cute and funny. Actually, do you guys know about the Pissy Kitty line? I just have to say, that's my favorite about. Where did I put my cards? About Unity is that they have some pretty fun, snarky cards, and maybe I'll show a little sneak peek. You guys don't tell anybody, okay? But there's like a new one coming out soon, and he's like super grumpy. Oh my goodness. Okay, not allowed to show you that. But yeah, they have a whole line of Pissy Kitty stamps right now, and they're just so much fun. This is one from the current release. He is just so freaking adorable. I don't remember what kind of color that's called, where they're like white and they have the orange splotches on them. Yeah, thanks, Amanda. No need to mark your envelope with just one battery. Yeah, and that is true. So I do like when we do the light up cards, you can leave it kind of open on the side. If I did that, nope, I didn't do it on mine. So mine would totally drain. But you can slip a piece of plastic in between, and then the person can pull it out when they get it out of the mail. That'll make sure the battery doesn't drain, because every time it gets touched when it's going through the mail and all the automated systems, it just turns on the light the whole time. Yeah, those pissy kitties are super adorable. So yeah, definitely check out Unity Stamp Company, and they're usually having a sale every once in a while here. So definitely pay attention to that if you want to save some bucks too. And the Unity Pissy Kitties, one of my favorite lines. I think that's all I've got. So if there's no other questions, I will let you guys go. And I'm going to go have lunch. And I also haven't drank anything this entire time. That's something they help me do at the crafty chat with Pear Blossom Press. We always go drink, and then everybody drinks together. So if you've been crafting, make sure you drink. Thank you, Justine. And yeah, make sure everybody looks in the chat. I'll be posting the links to some of the supplies, and also uh, the coupon code for Pear Blossom Press. All right, I'll see you guys later. Hope to see you this weekend in the summit. Bye.